This review is for the Deeyaple 3D LED wall clock. It comes in this box here, inside a little plastic sleeve that holds it nicely, and then it has a plastic bag that's over top of it, the remote and the cable, along with this little bag of hanging hardware to mount it on the wall. It's double stick tape with some hooks and stuff that I guess hook into this thing. I haven't used it for that yet. It also comes with this cable, which you can see is like a clear vinyl cable. It's quite long. I haven't measured it. I would say it's got to be at least 10 feet, 12 feet long. It's quite long. I'm going to unplug it here and show you the end. So it has just a USB. It does not come with the wall wart. You will need to have one of these lying around. Most people do. I happen to have this one laying around, so I just plug it in there, and the clock is off right now. But it does retain the time, so what you'll see is it comes back and the time is still there. It must have a battery built in. There is no battery compartment or anything else on this thing to allow you to change anything, so it must have a little battery that just maintains the time when there's a power outage or something like that. Right now it is cycling through the time, date, and temperature. You can change that to where it's just the time. You can also change the blinking of the second hand so that it's either steady or blinking. It does come with this little remote here that has all the buttons that you're able to change the time that way, and then you also have these buttons on the back that allow you to change things too. On the back, I don't know what this little button is here. I don't think it's mentioned anywhere in these instructions. I haven't tried pushing it. I don't know if it is actually a button. There is something, little metal round thing in there. On the top you have a light sensor there, and then here you have your IR sensor and the plug for the power. The light on the dimmer settings can be difficult to see the time and everything else because of the white LEDs and the white housing. What we'll do is I'll just scroll through this. It does have 4 settings, high, medium, low, and then an automatic, which uses the light sensor to determine it. So right now it turns it off, so it's actually 5 settings. Clock is completely off. You can just push any button and I believe it comes up, and then it will go away for, again, I guess to conserve power or whatever, I don't know. But then you can hit the time again, so it'll be high, medium, low, and you can barely see that with these lights on it. And then you have automatic, which is going to use the light sensor and determine how bright it needs to be. You can hear it beeping every time that you push this button. As far as I know, there's no way to shut that off. It is quite loud. The time has kept, I've had it up and running for probably about a week or 2 now. It has been fine. I haven't had any issues with it being off or anything else. It does seem to keep time pretty well. It comes with this little manual that kind of lays out how everything is set up. I haven't used the alarm feature on it. I imagine that sound is probably the same that it puts out for that. You can change, like I said, the loop function and whether or not it shows the temperature and the date as well. It does have 12 and 24 and the temperature setting from Celsius or Fahrenheit. You know, and the manual is easy enough to understand how to lay this thing out. It's not bad. The one little thing I've noticed with this thing, I had it set up in my office just to let it run and see how it keeps time and everything else. This is the remote for my little TV in my office. And what I noticed is when I hit the volume button, the clock beeps. I also have this little remote, which is for my digital microscope. And I also noticed that it beeps with this remote. So I'm guessing that it's going to beep with quite a few remotes, which could get quite annoying if you have it in a room where, you know, you have some other device that's using a remote it's going to beep on you. If you put it up on the wall above your TV in your bedroom, every time that you hit the button for the volume or something, channel, you know, whatever, any of these buttons seems to, the number buttons don't, oh yeah, they do. And it's changing the function on the clock. So just be aware that that's going to happen. Every single time that you use the remote, you might want to just stick this somewhere where you don't have other remotes in use, or you could cover this up with some kind of electrical tape or something and just give up on using the actual remote. I don't change, once I had this thing set up, I don't use this remote at all. It just sits up there and flashes through its 3 features there, and that's it. I will unplug my makeshift studio lights here so you can see how bright it gets with those off. Again, this is in, I believe, automatic mode. I don't know if any of the other remotes changed it. Yeah. So that's high, that's medium, that's low, and even with the backlighting, you can see low is pretty dim. It's not very bright at all. And in a normally lit room, if it's on low, you're probably not going to see this thing. But at night, it's definitely visible. So maybe that's a reason to use this. But I would normally just put it on the automatic. It doesn't seem to change much. It's still pretty bright. That's about all there is to it. I'll give you some measurements, even though they are on there. It's about 15 inches long and about 5¼ inches high, maybe about 1 inch deep. It's pretty light, light plastic. It's not a bad light. It's pretty interesting. The temperature also seems to be on point. I have a indoor-outdoor thermometer right next to this, and it's pretty damn close. Slightly off, maybe 1 degree or 2 here and there, but it's not bad. It does exactly as advertised, and I'm happy with it. I have no issues with this at all. And I don't think there's anything else that really needs to be mentioned. Just keep in mind, like I said, that you're going to need a wall wart for this, or some other way of plugging it in. If you have one of the newer outlets, 110 volt outlets, it has the little USB outlet in it. This would be perfect for that. The cable, will blend with most walls. You're going to see the cable hanging there, but it's not terrible, being that it's clear and thin. It works pretty well. It'll blend in enough. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.